The other thing that is fundamentally changing design is it speaks to the fact of the virtual infinite computing power of the cloud and the impact that has in design. So our CEO, Carl Bass, said a couple of months ago, imagine if computer power was infinite, how will that change design? How would you design differently? And we're starting to kind of answer that question. So, I mean, obviously, there is not such a thing as infinite computing power, but there is such a thing as way more than you'll ever need in the cloud. So we're seeing things in design that are changing traditionally the way that designers and engineers approach design. So, for example, one is illustrated in this picture. We have this project where we designed this chair, for example. And this chair was designed by an algorithm that basically, by brute force, generated thousands of options and analyzed each and every one against the requirements and came back with a few good choices. So that's one approach. And then there is another approach that also uses a lot of compute power, which is generating the geometry, algorithms generating the geometry of your design. So, I mean, think about it. Design is becoming less and less about defining geometry and more about defining a function and requirements and understanding what a good design means. Then, on the physical production, how we actually manufacture things, I mean, I'm not going to belate on the wonderful things of 3D printing. I mean, 3D printing essentially is accelerating the time that ideas become actually products, and also in automation. I mean, we've had automation for decades in manufacturing plants, but the difference is that now machines are more and more social, and they're being designed to work with humans as opposed to replacing humans. So there is the acknowledgement that there is really no point trying to automate every single thing in the manufacturing process, because humans are still pretty good at doing some things and robots are pretty good at doing some others. So why don't we combine both? And that's kind of the trend in automation right now. And of course, I mean, the means, the access to funding has changed. I mean, nobody had even heard about Kickstarter, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. Now it's actually creating companies and millionaires. So, I mean, other than getting the dollars, what Kickstarter is doing is also providing a very effective market research before you even start the project. So because people are voting with their credit cards, which means that very likely they're going to buy it. And then I think we touched on this in the previous sessions a little bit, is it used to be that only the largest corporations in the planet could have a supply chain and manufacturing facilities, because these things are very expensive. I mean, the facilities, the machines. Now, what we're seeing popping up increasingly are these companies that provide manufacturing as a service. It's called MaaS. I mean, yet another acronym. But the idea is that, let's say, let's design a factory that is very flexible, that can reconfigure very quickly to provide manufacturing services to multiple clients. So think about Tektronix, but in a much smaller and distributed fashion. So hardware startups, as you very well know, now have access to a virtual global supply chain that again, only the largest corporations had before.